In a crumbling alley, 10-year-old Lily hands her only sandwich to a shivering homeless man, unaware his piercing eyes hide a secret that will change her life. The next morning, cops pound on her door, revealing a truth that shakes her world. You won't believe what happens next. *subscribe request. If you're hooked already, hit that subscribe button and join our community for more gripping stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Don't miss out. Let's dive into this incredible tale together. Lily Thompson was a small girl with a big heart, living in the heart of Chicago's bustling South Side. At 10 years old, she stood barely 4 feet tall, her chestnut curls bouncing as she skipped home from school each day, her worn sneakers slapping against the cracked pavement. Her family wasn't rich. Her mom, Sarah, worked double shifts at a diner, and her dad, Mark, drove a delivery truck, often gone before dawn. Their tiny apartment above a laundromat smelled of bleach and dreams deferred, but Lily never complained. She had a knack for finding joy in small things. A stray cat she'd named Whiskers, a library book with dog-eared pages, or the peanut butter sandwiches her mom packed for lunch, always with a smiley face drawn on the napkin. On a chilly October afternoon, the kind where the wind sliced through jackets and the sky hung heavy with gray, Lily walked her usual route home. Her backpack sagged with books and her stomach growled, the sandwich in her lunchbox untouched because she'd traded her apple for a pencil at school. The alley shortcut she took was narrow, lined with overflowing dumpsters and graffiti-smeared walls. Most kids avoided it, but Lily wasn't most kids. She hummed to herself, her breath puffing in the cold air, when she saw him, a man curled against a dumpster, his thin frame shivering under a tattered coat. His hair was matted, his face streaked with grime, but his eyes, sharp and blue, locked onto hers with an intensity that made her pause. Lily stopped, clutching her lunchbox. The man didn't move, didn't speak, just watched her. She thought of her mom's warnings about system. Strangers, but something in his gaze vulnerable, almost pleading, tugged at her heart. Without a word, she opened her lunchbox, pulled out her peanut butter sandwich, and placed it beside him. His fingers trembled as he reached for it, muttering a hoarse, "Thank you, kid." Lily smiled, then hurried home, the wind colder now. Without her lunch to warm her. The next morning, Lily was eating cereal when a loud knock rattled the apartment door. Sarah, bleary-eyed from her night shift, opened it to find 2 police officers, their badges glinting under the fluorescent hallway light. "Ma'am, we need to speak with Lily Thompson," one said, his voice clipped. Lily's spoon froze halfway to her mouth. Her dad, Mark, stood up, his chair scraping the floor. "What's this about?" he demanded. The officer's eyes softened slightly. "It's about the man in the alley yesterday. We need her statement." Lily's heart raced as she recounted the moment to the officers. She described the homeless man, his tattered coat, his piercing blue eyes. The second officer, a woman, with a tight bun, scribbled notes. "You did a kind thing, Lily," she said, but her tone was heavy. "That man was James Carver, a missing person for over a decade. He's been living on the streets, but he's wanted for questioning in a serious case." Lily's eyes widened. "Is he in trouble?" The officer hesitated. "We just need to understand what happened. Can you come with us to the station?" At the precinct, Lily sat in a small room with a flickering light. The female officer, Officer Daniels, explained that James Carver was linked to a high-profile robbery from 2014, where millions in jewelry vanished from a downtown store. Carver had been a security guard, the last to see the jewels before they disappeared. No evidence pinned him directly, but his sudden disappearance made him a suspect. "He's been off the grid ever since," Daniel said, "until you gave him that sandwich." Lily frowned, confused. "How did you know it was him?" Daniel smiled faintly. "He turned himself in this morning," said a little girl's kindness made him realize he couldn't run forever. Lily's mind spun. She'd only meant to help a hungry man, not unravel a decade-old mystery. Back home, Sarah hugged her tightly. "You're too good for this world, kiddo," she whispered. Mark ruffled her hair, but his eyes were troubled. That night, Lily couldn't sleep, wondering what would happen to James. His blue eyes haunted her dreams, not with fear, but with a strange sadness she couldn't place. The next day, the story hit the local news. "Chicago girl's kindness leads to fugitive surrender," the headline read. Reporters swarmed their apartment, cameras flashing as Lily hid behind her mom. Sarah shooed them away, but the story spread like wildfire. By evening, national outlets picked it up, and Lily's face was plastered across screens. At school, kids whispered, some calling her a hero, others saying she snitched on a poor man. Lily kept her head down, clutching her backpack, feeling the weight of eyes on her. A week later, another knock came. This time, it was a man in a crisp suit, introducing himself as Mr. Grayson, a private investigator. He sat at their kitchen table, sipping coffee Sarah offered. "Lily, you've stirred up something big," he said, his voice low. James Carver wasn't just a suspect. He was protecting someone else, a partner who betrayed him. Lily's eyes widened. "Who?" Grayson leaned forward. "That's what I'm trying to find out. James won't talk, but he said you reminded him of his own daughter, lost years ago. He wants to meet you, if you're willing." Lily's heart pounded. Meet him? The man she'd helped, now in custody? Sarah hesitated, but Lily nodded. "I want to know his story." The next day, they visited a small detention center room where James sat, cleaner now, his hair trimmed, but those blue eyes still piercing. He smiled softly at Lily. "You're a brave one," he said. "I ran because I thought I had no choice. My partner, he took everything, left me to take the fall." Lily listened, her chest tight, as James explained how his partner, a man named Victor, framed him for the robbery, threatening his family if he didn't disappear. "I lost my daughter. My life," he said, voice breaking. "Your sandwich, it was the first kindness I'd felt in years." Lily's eyes stung with tears. "Why didn't you tell the police?" James shook his head. "Victor had connections power. I was scared." Grayson, who'd come along, scribbled notes. "We're close to finding Victor," he said. Lily's act gave us the break we needed. As they left, James grabbed Lily's hand. "You gave me hope, kid. Don't ever lose that heart." The twist came weeks later. Grayson called with news. Victor had been arrested. A wealthy businessman living under an alias in Miami. The stolen jewels, recovered from a hidden safe, were worth $5 million. Victor confessed, admitting he'd blackmailed James into silence by threatening his daughter, who died in a car accident years later, unrelated to the crime. James was cleared, but the scars of his lost years remained. He was released on probation, vowing to rebuild his life. Lily became a local legend, her story inspiring fundraisers for the homeless. She struggled with the attention, preferring quiet moments with whiskers or her books. One day, James visited, now living in a halfway house. He handed her a small locket, his daughter's, with a photo of a girl who looked like Lily. "Keep being you," he said, his eyes shining. The story didn't end there. Months later, a documentary crew contacted Sarah, wanting to feature Lily. She declined, saying, "I just gave a sandwich. Anyone would have." But the world disagreed, and her small act rippled, sparking debates on kindness, justice, and second chances. Lily, now 11, kept walking that alley, always checking for others who might need a sandwich, her heart unchanged by fame.